So now I'm going to be showing endgames in which there are a lot of pawns. So the first endgame I'm going to show is about how to uh, what are floating square. What is a floating square? So in this situation, let's first look at the left side. So in this, sorry, the right side. So here the black king is cannot move. Actually, it can move, but can't go away from these two pawns because it has to keep an eye on these. Otherwise, for example, if wait a minute, yeah. So if black takes this pawn, then this pawn promotes, and black can't stop that pawn, and so that's why black has to just keep repeating this in this side of the board. If black doesn't have a move, then black can keep repeating. uh, Now let's look at this side of the board, and here we see a floating square. So let's take the king out of the way first. So what is a floating square? First we have to see that this is a square, and these two pawns are on the corner of these squares, corner or vertices, whatever. And we need to check if any part of the square reaches the back rank. If it doesn't reach, in this case it doesn't reach, the pawns can't promote on their own. And if this was the situation, like, then the pawns can promote if there is a king. So this is winning for black, but this is not, because the square is doesn't reach the back rank. And let's talk about why. So let's say it's black's move. Black goes here, white goes here, and then let's say black plays a waiting move, because black is waiting because if this, then white can just take the pawn, and this is just losing a pawn, because if black plays this, then white gets into the rule of into the square, and wins the pawn also. And so that's why black stops here and plays some waiting move, and then white goes here, then black goes here, white takes, black goes up, and white again gets into the square. So yeah, that's why this, when you have this floating square where the any part of the square doesn't reach the back rank, this is losing for the one with the floating square. But let's look at this situation when the pawns are here. So now let's say white goes here, black goes here, and white goes here, black pushes, white takes, black pushes, and now white is not in time and black promotes. And so that's why once you have a floating square, it's in this floating square, the this part of the board, this part of the square is on the back rank, so that's why this is waiting for black. And now let's look at, so this was the uh, floating square where there were two separated files, and this is what happens when so the it has to reach the back rank basically. Now let's look at three floatings wait, three separated files, and we have something like this on that side of the board, and the king is somewhere here. Now in this situation also, the floating square is not reaching the back rank. So this is the floating square where these two pawns are on the corners or the vertices of the square, and here white cannot take both these pawns, but white can defend the position. For example, if white goes here, black goes here, um, white can go to these three squares, but white can't go and attack one of these. Let's say why. Let's see why. So if white goes here, black pushes, white takes, black pushes again, and now white can't reach on time because see now white is out of the square, and so black promotes. And so if white goes here, white takes, and again white is out of the square, and so that then black promotes, and so white has to stay in these three squares. So white goes back, black goes here, black goes up. Black can't push either because now um, the white is fast enough to get to the promotion square, and so when it's three files, white can only block like this, and yeah, so it's a draw. But when it's this kind of situation, this is a win for white because black can't just keep repeating. Black has to advance also, and so if black plays this, then white can go back, and if black goes here, white can go here, and this is just winning for white. And so we looked at first this, then we looked at the three files. Now let's look at this, which looks very easy, but it is a bit tricky to understand. So this is the same situation where these two pawns are blocked and can't move, and these two pawns are very close to promotion. So when and this time the floating square reaches the bank rank, and here these two pawns defend each other. So if white goes here, black will push this, and now white can't go back to protect because this pawn covers this square and this pawn covers this square. So white can't go back, and black wins this position. And so this was the case when the floating square works. And yeah, so that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.